Anima is one of those concepts, I think, when you first come across it in Jung, either you've had an experience and you get it the first time he talks about it, or if you haven't quite had that experience, then it's a complete mystery to you. You know,
right.
You have no idea what's being talked about. So that, you know, later in life when I came and read Jung talking about the anima as being the siren, the call that comes to a man, I knew exactly what he was talking about because I can still hear her singing.
That's right. That's right.
You can't predict beforehand. People always wonder about why they're attracted to the kinds of people that they're attracted to.
Right.
You know, that's a common question that people have, and I think part of the idea is that it's kind of a psychological chemistry. We all have a jigsaw kind of a pattern. That's our psyche, that's all around us, and we bump into other people and their jigsaw patterns, and every now and then we bump into someone and our different holes and things all fit together. And we know it instantly. I mean, that's love at first sight.
Right.
You know, that's when two people's psychological makeup locks together in less than a second. And so that's a part of depth psychology. I mean, that's a part of the inner world of those two people and their history, their personal history, what they've lived and what they've been through, linking up together even though they don't know a thing about each other. You see that? And that's
right.
That's back to the projection.
And that projection kind of thing, even Jung talks about as being, you marry, you have children, you have your family, you do this, and then things start going wrong, and the reason things start going wrong is because you start withdrawing your projections on the other party.
Well, projection works best on an empty screen, right?
Yes.
Like in the movies.
That's right.
The screen is empty, and you know, that's what falling in love is all about. I mean, the screen is empty. You don't know the person. It's just a wide open area for all of this stuff to come pouring out of you, and that's kind of the positive aspect of it. All of the stuff that comes pouring out of you onto the screen, so to speak.
Yes, that's very important.
But then when you've lived with that screen for 5 years, in other words, you start to know there's a person under there. I mean, that came
right.
because it was the anima that I was relating to, not the person. And I think that's part of maturity in a relationship, that as the projection wears off, then there's a whole other interesting problem that emerges, and who is this person now that I'm with? And in the long run, that person is probably more fascinating than your own projections, and then in some cases not at all.
Comes as part of a projection.
Back to the teenage years that we were talking about. I mean, you live in your family, you live as a family unit, and you think a person, you know, your parents are your world when you're a child. When you really stop and think about it, that's an incredibly powerful force. You know, how could a person, in fact, ever leave the circle of the sphere in which they were born?
Right.
When you really stop and think about it. And the only way for that to ever happen is for a more powerful force to pull or coax or lure or push a person out of that original circle of their known world into life, really, to be drawn into life. So that is, again, this mediating function of the animus, that there has to be something that gets you so fascinated with something that you'll leave home. And, you know, go to college, start a career, find a person, get married, start a family. That kind of energy. So it's fascination too, you know. What is it that really interests you so much? And that's a problem.
That's right.
For many people, I mean, you find that you're not interested in the things you think you ought to be interested in. or the things that you used to be interested in are things that really don't do anything for you anymore, and you wish they were, because you've just spent a lot of money buying this whole new set, and now
Right.
you don't care about it anymore. That's the anima too, see? That's the anima, moving through life, moving to different things. So the anima is like a smoke, and that's an image, you know.
It's a good
in
image,
dreams, yes. Sometimes, anytime you have smoky things, foggy things, white kind of things, there's a haze, you know, and there's a glaze that comes over a man's eyes. That's when you know that you're in this anima mediating territory. Everything is not quite what it seems. So the animist function is also involved in the creative aspect of a person. You know, the poet talks about the muse. Someone says they've been inspired. That feeling that something larger than yourself has somehow moved or done something in your life. That's the anima function too. That creativity. But as we all know, I mean, if you're going to do something new, different, if you're going to take a chance, if you're going to get passionate about something, there's going to be pain. I mean, that's a part of the anima getting you into the world. I
Very
mean,
much so.
We would all rather just stay home and not have anything happen.
Right.
Or I know, you know, when I think about my kids and when I have, you know, fantasies about what their life will be or what I want for my kids.
Yes, exactly.
My fantasy is, it's a life where nothing ever happens. And what kind of a life is that? But, you know, that's what I want for my kids. Now, this is the anima thing, that getting pulled means getting all tangled up in life, like I am, like you are.
That's right.
And to hold back from that, because I don't want to go there. I don't want to be hurt. To hold back from life, why else are we here?